Welcome to East by West Farms. Here we grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Today I'm going to mix some summer and fall cover crop mix. It is almost middle of July, and usually that's when summer starts for Texas. We are in the middle of a heat dome, and we already had 100-degree temperature for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and who knows how long it's going to last. The heat put a lot of pressure on the plants, and most of spring crops already died off. What you don't want is leave the soil bare because the sun will scorch the soil and make it lifeless. There are plants that like the Texas heat and they will sprout and grow in this kind of heat. What I'm going to do today is to mix some of seed mixer for those plants so I can broadcast in the garden. In addition, Texas weather in the fall is very unpredictable. It's very hard to tell when the fall will come. And so it's difficult to plan for it. What I usually do is put some Sentinel seeds. That means I put seeds for the fall crop in the ground now. Because it's so dry, the seeds, if the temperature is not right, the seeds will just sit there and will not rot or go bad. And then when we get to the first fall rain or when the temperature drops, the seeds will sprout, and that gives me an indication that it's time to plant fall crops. What I have in the bucket here is a mix of squash seeds that we collected from the squash that we ate. And most of them was originally from the store-bought squash, but these are probably second or third generation that they have grown in the farm over here. I have some butternut squash, some winter gourd, and look like I have some cantaloupe and watermelon. So those things that seems grow very well in the farm over here. I will add the summer beans, that's the black-eyed peas. I just add a handful in there. They like the heat, so they will grow very well in the summer over here. Since the Texas weather is so unpredictable, we don't know when fall will come. It can come next month or it could come in December. It's very difficult to judge when you should sow what. And what I figure out is actually to put some what I call Sentinel Seeds down, and then I can see them sprouting in the ground. Then I know that the time is right to seed the seeds. For example, for moonbeans, I usually sow them in spring. I have not tried to sow them in the fall, but they usually have a short lifespan. I'm going to try to add some moonbeans in here and see whether they will sprout in summer. If they do, great. If not, then because it's so dry, they will probably not going to rot. And then when the weather cools, when the temperature is right, it will sprout by itself. And then I know that the time that I can start early fall seeding. And I also put some sesame seeds. Because I use so much seeds, I don't buy seed package. I just use grocery store bought seeds. I have the raw sesame seed, and it's a white one. I got it from the Halal store, so it probably, from Middle East, the weather is kind of similar to here. So that is the mix I have. In addition, I will just kind of put down some seeds that might even for later for like the green onion. And these seeds I got from the green onion that I grew from the green onion I bought from Walmart. And that's been 3 or 4 years ago. The tiny green onion in Walmart grew actually huge in the ground here, and then gave this nice seed bulb that smells so good. I just sprinkle them around, and so they are kind of like the walking onion, and they move from place to place. I also have some fava bean in here. The same reason, because the weather is so unpredictable and it's very hard to judge when you should sow the fava bean, which is actually a winter crop for us, that it can take some frost. So I just throw a few in there and see whether they will sprout or not. I also have some buckwheat seeds go in there. And this year, surprisingly, we got some garlic seeds, which is the first year that I actually got garlic seeds. They basically look like tiny garlic. So I'm going to throw a few in there. These are daikon radish seeds, and again, that of course is a winter cover crop. This year, things are a little bit weird here. We are in the middle of the heat dome, so the daytime temperature gets up to close to 100 degrees for several weeks now, but the night temperature is still low. We are getting around 80 degrees. As soon as the sun sets, the temperature actually is pretty pleasant. In the morning, it doesn't get hot until probably 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. The plants are still growing, and I noticed that some of the brassica seeds that I throw in the ground in spring, they start to sprout. The weather here is so unpredictable. Every year is different, so it's very difficult to plant, follow a schedule. And in this case, I'm actually just going to add some of the brassica or daikon radish, with the winter cover crop here. And who knows, they may grow through the 100-degree temperature here, which is unlikely. It's my wishful thinking. But the seeds doesn't cost anything for us because we collect our own seeds. So we can build up the seed bank in the soil so that we don't need to really worry too much about when to sow what. The plants just decide by themselves. I mix them up, and that basically is our cover crop seed mix. So now we can get ready to put them in the ground. I built these sunflower tunnels. That seems worked very well. I just throw the seeds over here, and then the seeds will choose wherever the condition that works for them. So in this case, we might get some shade-loving plants, which is the brassica in the shady area, and then the summer crop like the black-eyed peas might sprout near this soaker lime that I just put down. Here is what we got from the seed that we broadcast 2 weeks ago. I put some straw here to kind of provide some protection to keep the moist. Now I have, that's probably a butternut squash, and this might be a watermelon that sprouted. I let it grow a little bit more and then thin it. In addition to the squash, you also see actually quite a few brassica that sprouted. The next step is mulch it. After 3 years of placing an order, we finally got a load of chip job, so we are taking great advantage of it. In this video, I mixed some seeds for summer cover crop and broadcast them through the garden. With some irrigation, or if we're lucky, with some rain, these seeds will sprout and protect the soil from the brutal Texas summer heat. In the mixture, I also added some fall cover crop that serve as a sentinel to tell me when to sow my fall planting. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumb up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave down below. If you have not done so, please hit the subscribe button to follow our journey with the East by West Farms.